When solving an equation, the goal is to get the variable by itself on one side of the equation. In other words, you're trying to isolate the variable. So when we're solving for a variable, you must use inverse operations. That term inverse operations, inverse means opposite or to undo. Our operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we use the operations that undo one another to isolate the variable on one side of the equation. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side so that it stays balanced. So think of it like lifting weights. If we add or subtract weight from this side, we're going to have to add or subtract the same amount of weight on this side to keep it balanced. So our inverse operations, the inverse for addition is subtraction, and for multiplication is division. Those are the operations that undo one another. So here are some examples that we've gone through in class. Our first example is x plus 4 equals 6. To get the x by itself, I have to undo this plus 4. And the inverse operation for plus 4 is minus 4. Now whatever I do over here on the left side of this equal sign, I have to do on the right side. 4 minus 4 is 0, so I'm just left with x. 6 minus 4 is 2, so x equals 2. Now to check my work, all I have to do is rewrite the equation, x plus 4 equals 6, and plug in my answer. Well, I said that x is 2. If I plug in 2 plus 4, will I get 6? Yes. So I know that my answer is correct. That's how I can check work. We also do that for subtraction. Y minus 5 equals 12. Well, to get y by itself, I've got to undo this minus 5. I can add 5. If I add 5 to the left of the equal sign, I have to add 5 to the right. Negative 5 plus 5, that gives me 0. I'm just left with y on this side of the equal sign. 12 plus 5 is 17. Again, I can check my work by writing the original equation, y minus 5 equals 12, and plugging in my answer. 17 minus 5 equals 12. Does that make sense? Yes, I get 12. So I've checked my work. I'm going to do one more. We have d plus 1 equals 5. Now I have to get the variable by itself, so I've got to get rid of this plus 1. I've got to subtract 1 from this side and subtract 1 from this side. 1 minus 1 is 0, so I'm just left with this d equals 5 minus 1 is 4. I'm going to circle my answer. And then I'm going to plug it back in. If I have d plus 1 equals 5, I'm going to plug in my answer. 4 plus 1 equals 5. Does that make sense? Yes, so I know my answer was correct.